Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of misty morning. So good guys. I love the bergamot. So nice. Anyways, I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking photo, talking video, talking tech. Today is a tech day. We're talking about something that just happened yesterday. It was kind of crazy. It was, yes, a lightning strike right on the Starlink antenna. The reason I want to tell you this story is because I've been seeing a couple of questions in the forum saying, hey, do I need to ground my Starlink? Do I need to put it on a battery backup? What do I need to do? Is it lightning proof? We ended up getting this lightning strike, and I want to tell you what ended up happening to the unit. Before I get into it, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks as of yet, go pick them up. They are 100% free. Go to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. Also, if you want to get more Starlink coverage, as well as helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, commentary, whatever about Starlink, go check out my Starlink playlist. There's a ton over there. It's about 70 or 80 videos. I don't know. There's a bunch. Go check that out after you're done watching this video. Also, if you enjoy this video even a little bit, please throw it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and click this little button over here. So when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. And if you just want to say thank you for all of the hard work that I do here on this channel, you can hit this little thank you button down here, or even better, just become a member of the channel. That would be awesome. Would really love to have you. Before I go any further, I just want to let you know at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a little bit of bonus information. So stay tuned for that. So let's get right into this. Now, let me just give you a little bit of a backstory because some people will be like, are you sure that was a lightning strike? Well, yeah, damn was a lightning strike. So yesterday was quite an eventful day. It started out uneventful and then ended up being like crazy. And that's what happens here in South Florida. So I was doing some hands-on testing on a new router that I got in. What else do I do, right? I think I'm on router number 8 now for you guys, right? To see which is the best for failover. And it was a perfect test yesterday because it needed to fail over and it didn't fail over properly during a massive storm. But when I would unplug WAN 1, it would flop over to WAN 2 and then come back. Everything was great. Big storm, not so great. We'll leave that for another video. Anyways, the studio is made out of concrete block and poured concrete. It has a brand new roof. I mean, it's very secure. And this building has gone through many very large hurricanes here in South Florida over the last 21 years or so. So it can handle wicked weather without a problem. Well, yesterday's weather was wicked and even more wicked than what we normally see. Normally, we have like really big downpours in South Florida and lightning storms, and then they're gone. Well, yesterday was extreme. We had excessively high winds. We also had rain coming down in sheets sideways. We had hail. You can hear on the roof, it sounded like marbles bouncing off the roof. And then the lightning is what was really crazy. Normally, we're used to hearing lightning in a distance, and you can hear the bang and then the rumbling. Well, we were getting lightning strikes here where you hear nothing. That means that the lightning was literally right on you, and that sound wave is going away from you, and you don't really hear nothing besides like a crack, and that's about it. That's what we were getting. So it was it was wicked. Well, the electricity went out a few times over the course of about an hour and a half during this event, and it came back up. Now, we were on power backup, so it was not a problem. UPS just work out great. We have some really big ones. All of our systems are on backup, on some type of battery backup. I was able to continue editing without a problem during this entire event. Well, that was fine until I looked over to the north, east corner of the studio, and the entire wall in that corner just sparked blue and like sparkles is what it looked like. I don't know how else to describe it. Kind of rainbowish. Heard a little snap and everything went out and it was like silence. And I'm like, what is going on here? I can't edit anymore. Why? I have like no connection to the server that's over there. I'm like, oh no, this is not going to be a good day. This is not going to be a good day. You lose your file server, well, you're spending hours, sometimes days to try to get the backups back to where it needs to be. Well, as a point of reference, in that corner, that northeast corner, right above there on the roof, on the eave, is the Starlink antenna on one of the SpaceX Starlink short mounts, okay? So that is exactly where it is. Now, some people will be like, are you sure that was a lightning strike? Yeah, I'm sure. I've been almost hit by lightning about, I think, 6 or 7 times in my life. And the first time I was about 7 years old or so, and I was about 3 feet away from the TV set, watching cartoons, probably eating Doritos or something. Once again, 7 years old, mind you. And it was a lightning storm, and wow. Lightning came down the wall, and you can see this like sparkling, kind of rainbowish color, and the TV just went, it nuked. It like exploded pretty much. And the knobs on the TV launched out. I was about 3-4 feet away from the TV, launched out of the TV and ended up on my lap. I had 2 knobs. Yes, guys, there were knobs back then on TVs. Besides TVs having knobs, we used to write data on things that looked like this. And this is actually an advanced version of the floppy disk, right? That was floppy, and this one's more rigid. The floppy was like 1.2 megabytes. This is a whopping 1.44 megabytes. Do you love it? So you would need probably, what, maybe 30 or 40 of these to take a picture today on like today's digital cameras? Yeah. Well, my dad came in. He's like, what happened? And I have knobs in my hand. The TV is off. He's like, what is going on? And I got up, and I remember we both looked on the top of the TV where there was a cable box. Back then, we had like these little cable box. It was like more like this size. Well, the entire top structure of the cable box was still bubbling. It freaking was melted. So that was one of my first, let's say, instances with lightning. I get hit all the time, and I always tell family members, listen, stay away from me during lightning storms. I attract the lightning. I don't know. There's a lot of other stories I'll tell you maybe in a live sometime. Ask me about it. I'll tell you about many of them. So coming round robin, the question was, can Starlink take a direct hit from lightning? And the conclusion to that is yes, it can. 100%. But even though the Starlink antenna, as well as the Starlink router, pulled through unscathed, there were some casualties over there. Thankfully, it wasn't the entire unraid server that I have in that corner, but the first casualty I found was this. This is an old TP-Link switch, an unmanaged switch. It's nuked. Nothing works. Also, the server itself has a NIC card in it that is also dead. So the lightning came down the Starlink antenna through the wall and ended up popping this. And when it popped this, I'm going to guess that it probably went through the Ethernet cable and popped the actual NIC card inside the server too. This all being said, I would have to say that if you do not have a battery backup on all of your electronics, you need to. I've said this in the past video. When I installed the Starlink router, and you can see it all the way back 70 videos ago, I put it on a battery backup. And in that video, I put a link to the battery backup that I used. And the reason I used it is because it was very small in comparison to the big stand-up massive units, number one. Number two, based on the pull or the load that is exerted by the Starlink router, which is around 60, 70, 75 watts, somewhere around there for the new version here, the version 2s. That unit can run for about 2 hours plus on that battery backup alone. So I have its own battery backup just for Starlink itself. So that, once again, if lightning does hit it and it travels through that cable, it's going to end up hitting that battery backup. It's going to pop and not blow other stuff out. Now, obviously, this ended up blowing other stuff out because it actually came through the wall and got inside of the network. But regardless, a battery backup is mission critical. If you don't have one on your Starlink router, as of right now, you're stupid. I don't even know what else to say. Go and buy one. All right, they are cheap. I'm going to put a link to the one that I use. Once again, it's small. It's from a well-known company, APC. But pick this up. It is relatively cheap. And you will thank me later, all right? I promise you. You won't have to worry about the thing rebooting because the lights flickered like this for a split second, and now the thing's rebooting, and now you're waiting for 3 minutes for acquiring and all the rest of this stuff. Put it on a battery backup. You're not going to have to worry about lightning strikes, storms, any type of outage of any kind. It is worth it. Trust me, it is worth it. So I want to give you a little bit of bonus information here now that you've waded through this story. Well, when this was all going on, I'm going to pull this up just so you can see it. This is an outage report during this event. And as you can see from the outage, it started right around, let's call it 12:50, 1 o'clock. Let's say 1 o'clock. From 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, the Starlink was out for approximately 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes out of the 60 minutes. It was out continuously. Why? Because the storm was that bad for 60 minutes. So if you guys want to know how well Starlink handles a lightning strike, it handles the lightning strike pretty damn well. How well does Starlink handle severe rain? It doesn't handle it well at all. It just can't cut through the clouds very well. I don't know why that is, but that's the way it is. It's the same thing with Dish Network. It's the same thing with DirecTV and all the rest. But those are actually pulling information from a geocentric satellite. That is many, 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 many more thousands of miles or thousands of kilometers away in comparison to 550 kilometers that the Starlink satellites are at. So I would expect more from Starlink. But as we can see here, we're getting less when it comes to rain. So rain fade is real, guys. Rain fade is real. And here's documentation showing it. Now, what does the outage report look like this morning? Now that the weather is cleared up and it's a perfectly clear day. As you can see here, there was a 16-second outage last night at 9:12, and then a couple of 7-second outages right around midnight. And from then to now, about 10, 11 hours later, no outages at all. Okay, so outages are no longer a thing as much as they used to be, because I think there's more and more satellites up there, but rain fade is still a major issue. And I hope that Starlink can fix this, maybe with a firmware update. I wouldn't mind spending a little bit extra money in electricity and maybe amp up, so to speak, the antenna. So maybe it's running, instead of 70 watts, it's running 100 watts all the time. I'm okay with that if it can actually pull the signal or actually bust through those clouds and get signal even during severe weather. So I want to hear from you. Has any of your electronics been blown up by lightning strikes? Or how about your Starlink? Has your Starlink gone through some severe weather and has pulled through like mine has? Also, are you using a battery backup on your Starlink? If not, why the hell not? Once again, down below, go check that out in the pinned comment as well as my description. Check out the unit that I'm currently using that went through this storm and many other storms so far. It's really good. It is one of those units that I would say that is small, compact enough, and it has enough power to be able to run the thing for a good amount of time. You don't need one of these big 1,500 VAs on your Starlink. It is completely overkill. So many people I've seen in the Reddit and all of them saying, oh yeah, go buy this 2,000 VA. You don't need all that. That is just ridiculous. Okay. Most outages today last for 30 seconds, a minute, the most, maybe a half an hour or an hour. And this unit will be able to cover you without a problem. So once again, go check that out. So I hope you've enjoyed this story. If you have, please throw this video a thumbs up. That would be great. Share it with your friends, family, colleagues, Reddit, Facebook, wherever, anywhere in your community. Send them over. Let them check out the channel, and also send them over to my playlist, my Starlink playlist, if you want to get more content like this. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click this little button over here, like I said before, so when I go live and a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.